What's up guys, welcome back to Morimoto Lighting. I'm Bear Dellinger and today we're going to be doing some 4Banger installs for your 2003 to 2009 4Runner. So as you see behind us, we do have a 4Runner in studio and it has seen some adventures. It's got almost 200,000 miles on it and it is still kicking. But it has some not so good lighting on this thing, so we want to do a little bit of upgrading with our 4Banger A-pillars. So before we get into the install, let's tell you what these are all about. So the 4Bangers, we have two different levels. We have an entry level, which uses a Nichia chip, and we call this the NCS version. Now we have the secondary level. This is for the premium users, the off-roading, the top dog of pod lights. This application uses the OSRAM chip, and we call it the HXB or the HX Boost. So once you decide what application level you would like, you will then move on to what driving pattern you want. We have three different patterns to choose from: Spotlight, the wide, or a combo driving pattern. We have all three patterns in an amber or white. So with our wide pattern, many people are more so drawn to the wide pattern to help increase night visibility and to use it as a fog light replacement. No matter if you choose the NCS or the HX Boost pod light, you will experience the same driving beam pattern. Now with our combo beam pattern, it is a super cool spot beam with a little bit more fill. It still stacks up to the competition very well, but remember, most people will choose the white beam pattern over something like this. Now onto the spot beam pattern. Still an incredible bright beam pattern that is tight. It looks like a square that is done on purpose because we at Morimoto know a thing or two about beam patterns. All three patterns come in either a white or amber color. But one thing to note is your light output would be a little bit less with the yellow lenses. On the higher end, the HXB uses the OSRAM chip, but it doesn't come in yellow. The white light has to pass through the yellow lens and losing about 30% of its brightness. Still an incredible option. Something neat about the entry level, those Nichia chips do come in a yellow option. Having a yellow light pass through a yellow lens, it doesn't lose as much, so the light output is closely matched to that of the white counterpart. The overall footprint of the 4Banger is approximately 30% smaller than alternatives that offer comparable performance. This allows for an unbeatable 3OEM Plus light fitment when paired with Morimoto's fog light or A-pillar mounting kits. With a standard of -3-degree aim, the beam pattern produced by the NCS wide beam model is designed to be compliant with the latest SAE F3 regulations for use as a street-legal fog light. And the same goes for the HXB wides. And lastly, the Morimoto 4Bangers are backed up with a limited lifetime warranty. So enough talking about the product, let's get straight into the install. So the tools you'll be needing for this install are an 8mm socket, a 12mm socket, a 17mm wrench, a T30 Torx Bit, a step bit to drill out a 3/4 inch hole for your Morimoto switch, and finally a 10mm socket. All right, so first things first for the install, we're gonna go ahead and get your relay mounted up in your engine bay. When you're installing this, make sure that it is fully vertical so no water intrusion or anything gets inside of it. So we're gonna be using the pre-made hole that the owner actually used on a previous relay harness that he installed. So all you have to do is take your relay and just line it up and use whatever screw that you need and just tighten that into place. In this case, we'll be using an 8 and just tightening it down. Okay, now that you have the relay installed, we're gonna go ahead and move over to your light harness. There's gonna be two pieces. They're gonna have your light 1 and light 2. What we're gonna do is take our light 2 and run it across. And a great thing when it comes with your kit, it actually comes with an extension harness to make sure that the harness gets all the way over to your passenger light. So all you have to do is plug that in. And once that's plugged in, we can just go ahead and route that all across your engine bay. I would recommend running this underneath your cowl and just zip tying it and just keep it nice and clean out of the way, but we'll do that towards the end once we get the 4Bangers installed. And then with light 1, we're just gonna route that up and along the driver fender and then up to where the 4Banger will sit on this side. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and move over to the Morimoto switch. A really great feature about this harness is that it is on a barrel connector. So all you have to do is disconnect it, just like so. And this will allow you to run your harness up through your firewall with ease. In our case, that's what we're going to be doing today as well, but you also have the other option with using a step bit and drilling it into your firewall, and it actually comes with a provided grommet so no water or intrusion gets inside the cab of your vehicle. But in our case, we're going to be running our harness alongside the OEM harness. So all you have to do is make a slight slit in that little rubber grommet, and we'll meet you guys on the inside. All right, now that we're inside the cab of the vehicle, we're going to go and show you how to install your switch. You have two different options. You can either go with the provided Morimoto switch, or you can use an aux harness to tap into your relay switches inside the cab. In our case, we're going to show you how to install the Morimoto switch. Now, when using your step bit, make sure that there's no metal or plastic or wiring, anything behind that interfering with your step bit. So once that's drilled out, all you have to do is back off this metal washer that's on your Morimoto switch and feed it down on your wiring harness. And what you'll do, you'll feed that switch up and through the hole that you just made, and then feed back that metal washer, and make sure you tighten it down back on that switch so that there's no movement once the switch is installed. And last but not least, go ahead and connect your barrel connector and make sure that it's nice and tight so it's nice and sealed. Okay, now that we have the harness ran and installed, it's time to go ahead and move to your A-pillar brackets. First things first, it's going to come with these little plastic wire harness holders. All you have to do is install it right here and also one here, and all you have to do is push it through just like so. So now that you have those installed, we're going to go ahead and start uninstalling the two 12mm bolts that are on your hood. You might need a friend just to hold the hood in the bracket just to keep it in place. So we'll call Jonesy Bonesy onto camera and get this up and off. These are two 12mm bolts that you'll be removing. Now that those two 12mm are removed, you can just go ahead and take your A-pillar bracket and line it up with the holes on your hood bracket. Once that's done, just take your two 12mm bolts and just tighten those back into place. So with your 4Banger kit, it will actually come with these universal brackets. Now when installing this onto your A-pillar bracket, make sure that the bracket is facing forward like a C. All you have to do is place it on top of it, use the provided stainless steel hardware, and just line that up with the whole area. Take the washer, and then the provided nut. Just line those up and tighten everything down. I would recommend tightening this down at the very end though, so that way you can adjust your 4Banger however you would like towards the end of the install. And when you do tighten this nut down, you'll be using a 17mm wrench. Now it's time to install the 4Bangers. In this case, we're going to be using the HXB wide whites. So all you have to do is line up your 4Bangers with the two side holes that are on the bracket, just like so, and then use the provided hardware and just screw those in on the very side. And those side screws, this will allow you to adjust your 4Banger vertically. Now that you have the 4Banger installed, all you have to do is go ahead and plug up your 4Banger to your Morimoto harness. And once you have that done, go ahead and head over to the passenger side and do the exact same thing. All right, last but not least of the install, all you have to do is disconnect your power and ground and then reconnect the power and ground on your Morimoto harness. So what we'll do is disconnect the ground side, and we'll be using a 10mm in this case. And just slide that ground part up and on your ground terminal. And then do the exact same thing over on your power side. Now with that done, all you have to do is tidy up your harness and your install is complete. And easy as that, guys, your Adventure 4Runner is ready to go with some upgraded lighting to help you see a little bit better at night and to increase a little bit more safety on your realm. And if you want to see what other products we have in store for your 4Runner, just head over to our website and put your year, make, and model, and we'll catch you guys over there.